It's that time for Christmas cheer, and Pikachu and friends are ready to celebrate the holidays with you. Show off your Christmas spirit with a limited edition Pokemon Holiday Spirit t-shirts and hoodies. Get them now before January 2nd. I got an anime channel called Mystic Sage, where I do anime top 10s, speculations, and more. You can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch to keep up to date with me, the channel, and even for some entertainment. Links will be in the description below. Thanks guys, enjoy the video. Pokemon Sword and Shield have brought us some old and new Pokemon into the world of Galar. Some Pokemon come in many shapes and sizes. Some also evolve into very different Pokemon as well. Speaking of evolutions, today I wanted to go over the top 10 hardest Pokemon to evolve in Pokemon Sword and Shield. Evolutions can go from trading to having certain items, and even some weird conditions like friendships. Pokemon Sword and Shield brought us a plethora of old and new Pokemon to evolve and discover on our own. And today, I wanted to point out which ones I found the most difficult to do. With that being said though, let's hop into the hardest evolutions in Pokemon Sword and Shield. To start off the list, we actually don't have a single Pokemon, but instead quite a few that share this minor annoyance of an evolution gate: required moves. Pokemon that require specific moves to evolve require that you know what the evolving move is in the first place. New players cannot be expected to know what moves the Pokemon needs to evolve, or where to even get those moves in general. And veteran players may know some moves, but may not know how to get that move. An example of this is Piloswine. You go out into the wild area and catch yourself a Piloswine at a decent or so level, and you know that Ancient Power is what it needs to evolve. From there, you start grinding levels and going ham on anything that moves into your area for experience, but you get nothing. Turns out, you caught it after the level it should have learned Ancient Power, so now you have to go move or learn it, and the whole process can be somewhat annoying. In at the 9th slot, we have a Pokemon that I find to be quite awesome, but the evolution can be painful, especially if you don't have the specific form you want. Toxel evolving into Toxtricity was already kind of hell in its own right. You have access to Toxel as early as Route 5. You can get it by talking to one of the workers at the breeding nursery. You get Toxel at level 1, and then training it up to level 30 to evolve it can be quite a challenge because of how frail and underleveled it is, compared to the rest of a standard team. So leveling is one point, but not the main premise. Earlier I mentioned specific form. Toxtricity has two forms, amped and low key. In order for Toxel to evolve into the form you want, it needs to have the right nature for it to evolve. For example, if I wanted a low key form Toxtricity, one of the natures that I would need is relaxed. There are other natures, but this is just an example. For the amped form, Toxel would have to be a naughty nature in order for it to evolve. Like I said before, there are other ones, this is just primarily an example. So getting the right form can be a pain, and that's why Toxtricity makes its way to number 9 on this list. At number 8, we have a variety of Pokemon on the same spot. This is a spot solely for gender-specific evolutions. This one applies for all gender-specific Pokemon, but some specific ones I will mention are Frostlass, Salazzle, and Gallade. In order for Snorunt to evolve into a Frostlass, it has to be a female with the Dust Stone. Salandit needs to be a female in order for it to evolve into Salazzle. What's messed up about Salandit though, is that the percentage to find a female is quite low. The percentage is actually 12.5% to be exact, so that's exceptionally low. The last one is Gallade. Ralts is already a rare enough Pokemon, so trying to find that could be a pain. But once it's male though, it should be simple enough, just pop a Dawnstone on it and boom, you got yourself a Gallade. There are also other gender evolutions, but I felt these three were the most prominent ones that came to mind. Either way, you need to have a specific gender to evolve certain Pokemon. The steps to this can be a little difficult, especially if you have a Pokemon like Salazzle. Oh, and good luck with its shiny. Moving on to the 7th slot of this list, we have something that could be really hard depending on your personal situation. If you don't have access to Nintendo Switch Online, then all the in-game trade evolutions will be very difficult to acquire. Some of the Pokemon in this list include Gengar, Machamp, Gigalith, Gourgeist, and Trevenant, only to mention a few. Although if you have Nintendo Online, then trade evolution should be quite easy. To add on top of this though, there are also evolutions with specific items that are a pain. An example of this would be Slurpuff and Aromatisse. Their items can be fun to get, and the trading also is meh. I guess my biggest tip to evolve your trade evolution Pokemon is to just make as many friends as you possibly can. Or just have one really good friend that will evolve them all for you. That's what happened to me. I know that's what I did, and I felt kind of shameful because I'm a lame-o, but get out there, go trade Pokemon, and have fun. from all generic trait evolutions to a very specific pair of Pokemon. This is why these two Pokemon come into the number 6 slot. Meet a Selgor and Excavalier. These two Gen 5 Pokemon are only obtainable by trading Karrablast with Shelmet. As you can see, Karrablast takes the helmet of Shelmet and adapts it into Excavalier's armor, while this Shelmet shreds its armor to become a super fast ninja. The process is actually a lot easier if you get either Shelmet or Karrablast. You could get one and your friend could get the other. I find this process of evolution definitely one of the most unique ones in all Pokemon. Heck, I would even call it one of my favorites personally. These two Pokemon were actually the last mons I needed in order for me to complete my dex, so I was happy I was able to get my hands on both Excavalier and a Selgor. So find yourself one or the other and trade with a friend, and that will be all you need. The later half of this list starts off with a little troublesome Pokemon known as Hitmontop. Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee are two Pokemon that evolve via one stat, being higher than the other. For Hitmonchan, there needs to be more defense than attack at level 20. For Hitmonlee, there needs to be more attack than defense. Hitmontop, however, needs to have it so both attack and defense are equal, which I can say is a pain in the rear to get. Now, how I personally evolved mine was I just used vitamins, and then I spent the items I needed and I was able to get the stats up equally. I also think that natures can play a part in it as well. So if Tyrogue has a neutral nature, I would find it easier obviously over an adamant nature where the main focus is attack. Trying to keep stats equal without vitamins to me can be a pain, and I've always done it with vitamins, so that's probably why I find it a little bit easier than some other people do. Also, trying to capture the right nature can also be kind of a chore. So good luck with evolving your Tyrogue into Hitmontop. Reigning into number 4 is one of my favorite pseudo-legendaries, being Goomy evolving all the way into Goodra. Now Goodra, as I'm sure a lot of you remember in Generation 6, was a pain to get due to the rain. The rain was very inconsistent in Generation 6, and I can safely say the exact statement with Generation 8. Weather, as a lot of you guys know, is randomized in this game. You can fiddle with your Switch's time or whatever, but as far as I know, there's no set in stone way to get the weather you want. So evolving can be rather difficult if there is no rain present. Plus there's also the fact that Goomy is a dragon and pseudo-legendary Pokemon, so trying to evolve it into Solgu is also rather difficult. All I can say is, thank Arceus for XP candies, they make your life a whole lot easier. I should also mention that not only do you need rain, Solgu also has to be over level 50, so this evolution can definitely be a pain. Man, I will tell you guys, this evolution really triggered me. Ever since Generation 4, I've always found Sneasel's evolution into Weavile rather tedious, and in Gen 8, I find it a little more tedious because of how late in the game you get a Razor Claw. In order to get Weavile, you need to get the Razor Claw. The Razor Claw is in the Dusty Bowl across a pond of water, so you know that you're going to need the Surf Bike. The player has to get over 6 badges before they get access to it. On top of where to find the Razor Claw, the player also has to equip the Razor Claw to Sneasel and wait to nighttime to evolve it. If you don't play Pokemon at night, this could be a problem for you, unless you obviously change your clock, because anyone can do that. But if you don't like cheating and you like doing it more legitimately, then that could be a little bit more difficult for you. The main reasoning for Weavile being at 6 is just because of where to find the Razor Claw in terms of game availability. It's late, and personally, being a shield player, I'd prefer to have Weavile before the 4th gym going up against Alistair. If I could get Weavile much earlier, Alistair would literally be more of a walk in the park. Now coming to the second to last slot of this list, we have Sirfetch'd. Sirfetch'd was probably a Pokemon a lot of you guys were expecting to be on this list, and you'd be right to assume so. Sirfetch'd has one of the most unique methods of evolving that we have seen in a very long time. I will admit though, despite it being unique and clever, I didn't evolve it on my own. I had someone trade me theirs. To evolve Glorian Farfetch into Sirfetch'd, there needs to be 3 critical hits in a single battle. To be able to time that can take some proper planning and skill, so I wish anyone the best of luck doing that. Also, shout out to all my fellow Pokemon shielders out there. We had the trade to get this Pokemon. We are troopers, guys. Sirfetch'd has one of the coolest evolutions though, and I'm happy Game Freak put in such a great concept. Now before we jump into the number 1 slot, I want to take a moment to give an honorable mention to probably the most unique Pokemon to evolve since last gen. It's none other than Inkay and how to evolve it into Malamar. If you remember back in the X and Y days, you had to not only level up your Inkay to level 30 or above, but also flip your 3DS or 2DS upside down using the gyroscope sensor to evolve Inkay into the fearsome Malamar. But in Pokemon Sword and Shield, we're on the Switch. So what you have to do now is turn the handheld mode of the Switch upside down and then level up Inkay to level 30 or above, just like back in the day. It's very unique to say the least, but it just misses the spot on this top 10. The number 1 hardest Pokemon to evolve in Pokemon Sword and Shield would have to be Ranieri. I hope I pronounced that right. Why is that, you might ask? Well, dear viewers, let me explain first. You need to have a Galarian Yamask, which in itself isn't that hard, but for it to evolve, that's where the fun begins. So to evolve Yamask into Ranieri, you have to first have your Yamask be inflicted with 49 or more points of damage. Then you have to travel to the Dusty Bowl and find a specific stone structure that you can see right there. And then, Yamask will suddenly evolve. I don't know who over a Game Freak that thought of this evolution, but it's so strange to me, and that is why I think Ranieri is the hardest Pokemon to evolve in Pokemon Sword and Shield. Well, that pretty much wraps up this list of the top 10 hardest Pokemon to evolve in Pokemon Sword and Shield. I thought this list was pretty accurate when it came to pointing out the tedious and difficulty behind some of these Pokemon. You have some Pokemon like Alcremie that I guess people can argue, but I don't find it that difficult, to be fair. I don't know though. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Let me know in the comments below, and if I missed a Pokemon you feel should be on the list, comment that as well. If you enjoyed the video, why not leave a like and subscribe to my channel with notifications on, that way you never miss an upload. If you want to support me further, consider following my Twitch where I stream a lot of Pokemon content and all kinds of other Nintendo content like Zelda, Fire Emblem, and much more. Also, I've been reviewing every episode of My Hero Academia Season 4 over on Mystic Sage, so head over there if you're into that too. I would love that a lot. Want to support me further and gain cool perks? Check out my Patreon. Daniel Leone, Lady Crimson, Memory Martin, The Lazy Leo, Matthew Young, Awesome Lego, Jarrett Weiss Austin, Sodden Grider, and Enigma97 did, and I want to thank them personally for going above and beyond. It means the world to me. I think I'm gonna wrap this up though. I'm Mr. Gumbrand, and I will see you in the future for more awesome Pokemon content.